couple of days ago, I bumped into a conversation when someone, an adult person who is raising children, said that whatever is happening with us before we reach the year 14 is not really important. And I was a little bit kind of shocked that really, is it possible that someone thinks about that kind of things? And honestly, this is the topic interests me since very long time. The only reason I didn't talk about it yet because I was thinking it's really obvious for everyone that is not the truth what this person was saying. But because I heard this opinion, I thought it seems the information still not spread enough, so let's talk about it in this video. If you ask me who can benefit from this information, well, if you are a parent and you are raising small children, obviously you can benefit from this topic because even we do everything very consciously and even we do our best, we still human beings, so probably we will make so-called mistakes, which is really is not a mistake, it's simply something which coming from the fact that we are human beings. Second, if you've been raising children, but your children already grew up, and maybe one day your child will come home and they will say, look, mommy or daddy, I'm really grateful for what you've done for me, but actually I have a little bit of struggle in my life because this and this in the past, and I would like to talk about it. It would be nice that you are ready and you are prepared and you don't think that your child just want to blame you for anything in the past and you just push them away, but you are open for this conversation. And the third case, if you don't have children, this video can be beneficial for you because you definitely had parents, even if they are alive, even if they are not with you. You can start to bring things into the light and see things and change things, even because we all been children at one point and this little someone is still living within us, so-called the inner child. And even if you don't have your parents anymore, you can be the parent of this little one and you can change your life here and now based on these informations I will share with you. So, back in time, a friend of mine told that the children a little bit like they are always high on something. And really, if you just watch the children how they play, they are just living in their little bubble. They are not really aware of the world. At least this is how it seems. And they are living in this state from around 0 till 8 or 7 years. What does it mean? Whatever the children are experiencing in this age, it's getting part of their subconscious. The subconscious is not ready or not programmed to reject information or data, is just accepting data. Which means, for example, if a child experiencing that they rejecting her or him, then and is repeated again and again, that will be his or her reality. Everything we are experiencing in this very early childhood, that will be the building blocks, that will be the base of that adult person who we are today. Of course, the later experiences are changing a little bit our personality, but that will be the main building blocks which will affect what kind of partner we are choosing, what is our connection with the money, what kind of profession we choose, for example. If you are the person for who this topic is a little bit new and you think, what's the point of just going back to the past and just chewing on the past instead of concentrating on the present and making plans for the future, there are two things I think is very important to make it clear. First thing first, yes, we have to talk about the past, we have to talk about what happened and what the parents were doing. We have to see and treat and think about the parents, them two human beings. We have to remove the taboo that parents are someone, we cannot touch them, we cannot criticize them, we cannot talk about anything them, that we cannot even think that they done something wrong because everything was just perfect. It is not true. Just think about. At the really beginning, that was two young children basically, and they fall in love and they decided, okay, we want to have family, we want to have children, which is beautiful. But these two youngsters, probably they are not aware of their past, they have their own traumas, they have their own blind spots, and what is happening? The baggage they are carrying, they just pass to the next generation for their children. If we place these two persons on a pedestal, that they are the mother, they are the father, we remove the possibility of communicating with them. We remove the possibility to connect with them and create a nice and warm environment where it's safe to talk about things. The whole environment, the family environment, will be very cold and rigid and something. Yes, I'm really admiring you. Yes, you are my father, you are my mother. But the connection, which is very important for the development of the child, that we're missing. Of course, when the children are growing up and they want to talk about topics with the parents, which is not super comfortable for the parent, it's really important that the parents have healthy self-confidence and they are open for this conversation, and they are not pushing the children away, and they are not thinking that, yeah, my child is ungrateful because I done my best and nothing is enough for them, and they just close up. So basically, they don't give the possibility for the child to see things clearly and change their life, and they are staying in this very cold and rigid and lonely place on the pedestal of parents. The other very important thing why we have to talk about the past, because this is the base of the building of the present. These are the building blocks happened with us, all of the experiences which are creating the base of the life we are living right now. Plus, being conscious doesn't only mean that, yeah, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm breathing, I have thoughts. Being conscious means I am conscious of the thoughts which are always looping in my mind. And how many times we said, oh, I'm such an idiot. But we are not conscious what we are saying for ourselves. And we are not aware that these kind of thoughts, most of the time, just thoughts which been built up into our mental reality in the past, and they are affecting our present. Or is there anyone there, and I'm asking it very, very, very seriously, you can imagine that any baby exists in this universe who coming out from the mom, and when someone offers milk for them and they said, no, thank you very much, I don't need it because I don't deserve. It's not possible. It doesn't exist until we don't teach this for the baby. And yes, we teach the babies that they are unworthy and etc., etc. With, for example, a baby is crying and we don't pick them up. And maybe we don't pick them up because the baby was born and he or she had a health problem and needed to go into the incubator immediately. And this little one is there for weeks and weeks without the contact with the mom. Or because the parents has to work, the baby goes into an institute, which means again, we have 10 or 15 children for one nurse or one caregiver, which means the baby is crying, is impossible to pick them up because there are 10 other babies to look after. So it's physically impossible. Or sometimes it happens that the mom has some addiction, alcoholic, or has drug addiction. Or it could happen that the mom has mental health issues, let's say depression, and not possible for her to look after the baby. That's how the baby, for who the mom was everything, the mom was the whole world, the universe, learning slowly that my needs are not important, I'm not lovable, that the world is not a safe place, and basically that will be the building blocks of the reality for the future adult. If you are wondering how this adult functions a little bit later, I have a couple of points collected for you, so I would like to share all of these things. For example, first thing, this person will always look outside of himself or herself. They will never trust that their opinion, their thoughts are right. They will always ask other people that is it right? Is it possible? Is it okay? They will always need approval from other people because they don't have strong boundaries. They don't know how to protect themselves. They are the people who most of the time criticized and bullied by other people. The relationship can be difficult for them because they are the people who are afraid of abandonment. They fear they don't deserve something nice. So the relationship can be a big stress factor for them. Plus, most of the time they are choosing partners who are in the need of their help, who are needed to get repaired, as they really like to give, as they really like to look after other people. They have the tendency to choose a partner who is a little bit of their child. And there is one more thing which can lead towards that kind of relationship pattern, because they don't feel that the world is a safe place. They want to control everything, the relationship itself, the other person itself, which means they are normally choosing someone who is weaker than them, and they can manipulate them, and they can control them, they can help them. And of course they give all of them in the relationship, and at one point they just disappear in the relationship. They are melting, they are merging into the relationship. And it's not just a romantic relationship, it can be a friendship, or it can be a workplace, or anything, when they just give too much, and at one point they just disappear because they don't have the boundaries. And if I already mentioned the workplace, yes, they are the people who has the tendency to overwork, working far too much, because that will help for them not to face with the uncomfortable emotions. So long story short, they are the people who feel they don't deserve the love, they don't deserve the safety, they don't deserve the caring, they don't deserve other people's attention, they don't deserve a nice and healthy connection. And I have one more thing, and maybe it will be super shocking for the people who already overwhelmed a little bit with all of these thoughts, is not starting when we get born. All of this starts when the baby is in the mother's womb. Because, and please don't click away, even if you feel overwhelmed, just give me half minute and you will see how logical it is, and maybe you will say, actually it makes sense. When someone is pregnant and has a baby inside in her body, whatever is happening with this person, for example, this person is stressed. Lots of stress hormone get created in the body. What happens? Through the bloodstream, it goes into the body of the baby. So basically, the baby will just soak in the serotonin, in the stress hormone, when the mom is stressed. And the fact that the stress hormones affect the growth of the baby, the development of the brain, the nervous system. And that kind of underdeveloped brain and nervous system in the future can cause problems with the studies or with social connections, for example, building up relationships. And it's really interesting, because when I heard about this topic and these facts first time in my life, I told this to a friend of mine, and she said that, yeah, actually it makes sense, because when I was pregnant with my son, I was so happy. I was like the full moon. I was just soaked in this happiness for 9 months. But later, when I was pregnant with my daughter, my relationship with my ex-husband was a little bit rocky. I had lots of stress because of the money. We had to move, and basically I was stressing in these 9 months constantly. And if you know my children, if you see my children who are grown up now, my son is like a big cat, just happy, and everything is fine. He just accepts help from people. It's not a question that he deserves. Though my daughter told my friend, she is worried about everything. She wants to serve everyone. She wants to help everyone. She wants to control everyone. She is just super anxious. So there is a chance, if you want, just look around in your family, or look into you, or check your friends, and maybe you will find real life examples in your own life. But I have a good news, and this is what's coming now. The good news called neuroplasticity. And please don't click away because of this really fancy word. It simply means that the brain is not something set and constant. Actually, just the scientists very short time ago figured out that the brain is changing. That the brain is changing during our whole life. Even when we are very old, we are able to learn things because of this capacity of the brain. If we stimulate the brain, and if we don't just let it be, but it's like the muscles. If you go to the gym, if you train your muscles, you will have strong muscles. If not, you will have weak muscles. The brain is exactly the same. If you are stimulating, if you're learning new things, then you are building new neuron paths. You are changing your brain, which means, and this is where the good news is coming, if we conscious of the old patterns and we are not happy with these old patterns we coming from childhood, we bringing from childhood, we are able to change these old patterns. And that's the good news. And that's we need to look into the past, be more conscious what we need to change. So let's sum up what this video about. First thing first, remove the taboo that the parents just has to be worshipped when we cannot talk to them. We have to understand that the parents are human beings who are, yes, probably making mistakes, not because they are bad, not because they have bad intention, just because they are human beings. Other very important thing is we have to understand whatever happened with us from the time we spent in the womb until we grew up and we reached 7-8 years, they are the building blocks of our life. They are affecting who we are today. And even we don't remember consciously, the subconscious and the body, the nervous system remembers. And the third thing is, if we are willing and we are brave enough to look into the eye of the problems we are facing every single day, and we are going a little bit go down and we try to figure out what is the root of this problem, if we getting more conscious of our life, of our thoughts, everything, then there is a chance to change. And yes, then we can reach the point what is the human rights of every single being, feeling loved, feeling that I am okay just as I am. You will feel safe in this world and you will have nice human relationships and connections around you. That's the only thing I wish for you, I wish for myself. If you have any comment, if you have anything to add, or if anything surprised you in this video, feel free to share in the comment. I'm very curious of your thoughts. If you like this video, feel free to like it, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Adios.